Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Crochet Mama. I am the Crazy Mama. My name is Sue, and I struggled a little bit with this video. I've never done this kind of thing before. I think this is only my third or fourth video that I have attempted to make, and I am still trying to figure some things out. So I thought that it would be really cool if I would crochet and then chat along. But I also can't seem to decide if I'm trying to do a tutorial. So I'm talking through the pattern. So do I need to talk through the pattern? Or can I just crochet and talk about the donut shop and not feel like I'm trying to teach someone something? Because that's not really my intent. And, as someone who most likely has ADHD and also has, depression and anxiety, I feel really insecure and uncomfortable because I just want to be good at this. I'm a person that when I pick most things up, I'm good at them and I can figure it out pretty quickly and I get pretty proficient. And so it is really uncomfortable for me to be posting things and trying to figure this out and not immediately be good at it. And so my initial thought is okay, well, screw it. I tried. And this is the end. I will never post again. Which, as I'm saying it out loud, sounds super ridiculous, but that is literally the thoughts that are going on in my head, So I decided that I would rework the video a little bit. It was clocking in at 22 minutes, which I just think is too long, and I'm going to continue to play with it. I'm going to continue to see what the right format is going to be and how to time things and space things out. I think I've always felt and been told that growth happens when I'm being uncomfortable. So I know that in, embracing the discomfort and the awkwardness of my first YouTube videos, I'm going to get curious, where can I go to kind of figure some of this stuff out, figure out why, what really is my focus and what really am I wanting to communicate with these videos, I don't want to give up. This is important. This is something that I feel really passionate about. I am a creative person. I want to create this content and help other people like me understand what goes on and just try to normalize the things that go on between my ears. And so part of that is just trying to be vulnerable, that not every video that someone sees on YouTube is perfect. Oh, here Hobbs decided that he wanted to join in with me. I was trying very hard to not get distracted by his big chubby body, but he was just happy to hang out. But I want people to see making YouTube videos is not all glamorous. It's not something that just comes together immediately. I think there's a learning curve for everyone, and I don't know that I've seen a lot of creators be look, here's my first video, my first few videos trying to get this thing figured out and not being really able to get it all right. My filming setup is not what I'd like it to be, and so I'm still figuring out what's the right camera angle and how can I sit comfortably and show this work that I'm doing without completely hurting my back. And even in this situation, I was not, I think in the previous, I realized after I had shot it that I was not in the right frame, I was totally not in the frame. So, I'm learning as I go, like I said, and I think the biggest takeaway from this video, aside from the crocheting, is that I want to normalize these struggles. I want to normalize and help remove the stigma from people who think like I do, and I also just want to encourage other people, if you have a passion, if you are questioning whether or not you should dive in and try, I think the best advice I could give is just try it. I feel like I'm willing to give this a try for 2 years and see what it's like. I think it'll be interesting to come back 2 years from now and look at these videos and see the progression I've made. I think it's just gonna be kind of a fascinating time capsule to unpack and try to, if I stick with it, and there have been a lot of things in my life where I was not good at them from the beginning. But, ultimately, I was able to work through that initial discomfort and really get better at things. And so even crocheting, the first few things that I made when I crocheted were just like these I was torturing the yarn. My stitches were all very tight and things were unrecognizable. And now here I am, being able to read a pattern and being able to make some really beautiful things. And, had I just given up after those first few tortured projects, I would have missed out on the joy that I've been able to bring to other people and the peace of mind that I have when I have a crochet hook in my hand. I think it's a really fantastic hobby. And, I think the other thing is I'm really proud of myself from my illness point of view that I have not spent more than like $30 to get this kind of up and running. There's things that I could buy that might make it better, but I don't want to put an undue burden on my family. And so I'm trying to do this in a very sustainable and manageable way, which is something that has always been kind of difficult for me. But, I'm getting there. I'm learning. It's a continual process of refining and redoing and all of that. I think it's one of those things that I very much want this to work. And I just, like growing up, I wanted to be perfect. I just felt like if I could be perfect, then, the problems in my family could be solved and I would be more accepted or whatever. And I just was always so out of sync with the people around me. And so just struggled in social situations and struggled in so many ways so that, being good at school was like my one thing. And when I started to have troubles in school, it was an identity crisis because I'm like, well, but I'm supposed to be a good student. And if I'm not a good student, then where's my identity? And it was really hard to try to peel back from that and say, there are other things that I could be good at that are not necessarily looked at on a report card, and I think that's part of why I struggled in college, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I wasn't immediately good at all the things that I tried to do. I did 2 practicums. I was going to be a teacher, and I did 2 practicums, and both of them were miserable. And, the rest of it was just it was tough. It did not come as easy. I had to work at it. And at the same time, I was not passionate about wanting to become a teacher. I've always wanted to be a creator of some kind. And so it's really been such a long journey to finally let go of this idea that my passion is not financially viable. I think that it's fair to say, and it's okay to want to have my passion be something where I can also make a living. But it takes a lot of courage, and growth for me. I didn't immediately quit my job when I launched this channel, and I haven't done poor work at my job because I'm so hyper focused on this. I go to my job and I do the best that I can so that I can earn a paycheck, and with the hope that eventually I can turn this into something where I'm earning money. How, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's really uncomfortable. And anytime I'm building a new muscle of any kind, be it working out physically, working out emotionally, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot more effort to learn something new than it does to do something you've always done, And so my brain would very much like me to just go back to the way it was before I launched this channel and just trust that, it'll be okay. And I can just continue to tamp down all of this creative potential I have. But I think I feel much more fulfilled since starting this venture. And I feel like I need to let that be kind of my guiding principle. And eventually, if the universe wants it, then this can be something that's financially viable, and I can help my family, but also pursue the things I'm passionate about. And I can show my daughters that they can turn their passion into something that's viable, and really just allow them, and my sons too. But, I think it was drilled into me that I had to go to school, that I needed to get an education. And I think that really was a stumbling block for me for a long time, because I didn't end up getting a degree. And so, I always felt this sense of apartness from, my nuclear family, because the rest, my dad and mom and brother all have college degrees. My mom has her 2 masters or something. My dad has his master's. And so I feel very much inferior from that perspective. Not that they ever have made me feel that way, but that's just kind of how I feel. And, had I embraced this side of me, this passion that I have for creating, even 5-10 years ago, I wonder where I could have gone with it. So the original audio for this was different. And so I'm going back and trying to make sense and give some context as to why the video is a little bit more choppy. But I am committed to trying again with rounds 6 and 7 and trying to get into a better rhythm and just give myself a beat to figure out, what is the focus? Is the focus just me crocheting and talking about where I work and my kids? And if it is, then I don't have to go into the pattern and what the stitches are and all that. I can just talk about those experiences that I'm having and the process that I'm working through and trying to get the right diagnosis and the right medication to treat my mental illness, because I know there are a lot of people out there, I think especially since COVID, that are, finding stuff out about themselves for the first time and really trying to make sense of that and really trying to understand, why they are the way that they are. And I think that's amazing. I think that is something that has been lacking in our society for a really long time. And I spent a lot of years feeling a deep sense of shame because of my depression. I grew up in a religious home, and I always got the sense that I wasn't supposed to be depressed because God was supposed to be the answer. And so I'm grateful for the community and people I have around me now that are just so fantastic and loving and caring and helping me feel safe so that I can have a secure jumping off place and use that security to launch myself into the uncertainty of being a creator and trying to get all of this figured out. I'm grateful for doing these videos though, because I think it will help me get this project done faster than if I would just do it on my own. I think it's enjoyable for me to watch the time lapse. I don't know why, but it does something for my brain where it just feels, it's very soothing and comforting. But yeah, I'm really excited for what is going to happen, and I'm hopeful that this will continue to be something that I refine and am able to continue to improve on. I know this is a bit of an unusual video, but I would love it if you would be willing to comment, hit the like button, and subscribe so that I could continue to grow my channel and continue to try to make an honest go of turning my passion into something that I can use to help support my family financially. Thank you all for hanging in there and for all of the watches and all of that. I just really appreciate this love and support that I have from the people around me. It's just been invaluable.